Yo, what up, Coach RT3? And we're back for episode 13, lucky number 13. And today I'm excited because I have my Art of Functional Movement brother, AFM co-founder, Pawel Witudo. It's going to be awesome to have him on and kind of talking about his training, philosophy, background, pretty much everything that's going on in his part of the fitness and health world. So we're just waiting for him to join us. We'll get on. So here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, Pawel, how are you?
Yeah, all right. All right. How are you?
Awesome. Really great to have you on. Really excited to have this conversation. We've had so many great conversations while I got a chance to visit you last year, which was really fun and really awesome. I really appreciate everything. You are a wonderful host, and your facility and the people were just wonderful. So I really felt at home and appreciate that a lot. So I also wanted to just jump right in and get started. For people who don't know who Pawel is, he's based in Norway, just outside of Oslo, right? Is it considered outside of Oslo? She is outside of Oslo, right?
Outside of
And he has a facility there, House of Tengu, and the system or the practice that Pawel teaches from or has created with Paul Gray, who some of you have seen in, I think, an earlier episode, Art of Functional Movement, AFM. And I just wanted to ask, kind of to give us your background of, how you even started in fitness, where you're from originally, how you started in fitness, and what brought you to where you are today.
Actually born, raised and educated in Poland, right? So I was doing just normal schools until I was graduated as a master grade engineer, actually, from the university, and everything was actually in Poland. So I moved to Norway 2003. Started to work from the bottom up, really, from the physical type of jobs, and learn myself Norwegian. And I always trained, though. Always trained. It was never aesthetic training. It was always martial arts related, and a group sports training, actually.
Right.
When did it happen? Actually, I kind of woke up to functional movement, functional training 10 years ago, and started to research the kettlebells, and that's how it started, really. I was studying both hardstyle and softstyle kettlebells, strong first and AKFF kind of style, and everything I do is kind of in between those two, really, because on the AFM classes we use both hardstyle and softstyle, so it doesn't really matter. The movement is the most important thing, not putting ourselves in the boxes. We are that, or we are that. We actually everything. It's difficult because everything it was kind of martial arts related before, but I've noticed that it's not many people like to be kicked in the face. So
This is true.
So how do you actually give people what type of workouts you want to give them, but without this what we like, but not maybe a lady and like 50 years old lady likes. I started researching both kettlebells and the clubs. So I was actually CST certified and TACFIT certified and CrossFit certified. And all the certification you actually can, which came to me, I took. And one day, on the CST certification, I met Paul Gray, and we started to connect, and we decided to split up from CST and start, and everything we know, it's actually encoded in AFM from both ways, right? So we tend to say that you learn from the best, and you sit on the shoulders of giants. And of course, it's not like I'm going to the forest and I'm designing the system. Some things coming automatically, like the element cycle. I'm actually I'm proud to admit that. Something what I actually came up with, the way of periodization and way of doing the holistic type of intensity management system. But AFM is kind of mixed what Ian and Young and what Paul and we have inside of us, and I think we came up with something unique as well.
Yeah, definitely.
When you train with us, so and I can easily say that you're a professional, so you know that the shit is good, right?
Yeah, yep, for sure.
Cannot, right? So I'm sorry.
What's that?
You can't swear online, so well,
yeah, we try to keep it limited, but
yeah.
punctuation. With some of my guests have had more than others, but
Okay.
we have a wide spectrum of audience that's watching usually, but really I want to. There were a couple of things that you said within that I wanted to kind of go back to, talking about your move from Poland to Norway, and then your transition, because you were an engineer by education, your transition into fitness. How did that come about, or what inspired that in your life?
Education is one thing. If I knew what I'm going to be doing, right, I would probably change my education and choose something else. To be honest, you never know. You never know what you're going to be, right? And I'm not saying I'm going to be this guy sitting here in 10 years neither. So everything is just juggling cats, really. But my education is actually the VET, it's biological engineering education. So
okay.
To be honest, I mean, if you feed a pig or if you feed a human, the processes are the same, right? So I guess I got a good background in biochemistry and biophysics, and then all the things that actually, at least when I'm reading the labels of the supplements, I know what the things does, and it helps me to help the clients as well.
Right.
So biologically is all good, and then now you apply the knowledge into the clients, and nobody complains really. So I think
must be doing something right.
yeah. It's like when I'm looking at my son. The guy is 14. You met him.
Yeah.
And I look at him and share. Yeah, something. I had to do something good. I had to do something right about it, because the guy is really sweet.
Yeah.
So that was my kind of transition from academic education to fitness, and to be honest, I was working actually in behind the desk really long time as well, and I just got sick of it, and sometime like five years ago I decided just to get up, to quit my job and start, and people follow.
Yeah.
So
it's actually been you actually were just practicing and doing more
most
traditional work as opposed to being
Yeah,
it within the coaching.
you can say that. I mean, I've started as a martial artist, and then I transitioned to kind of bodybuilding style of training, and then, with the small steps,
Hmm.
you kind of take kettlebell in the hand, and you find a guy which actually, shows you how to do it, and then you find another guy, and then find a club and a mace, and movement is beautiful. I mean, that's what I'm really cherish about the AFM system as well. I mean, you can do virtually everything and just put it in the logical framework,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you can still be yourself doing AFM, not exactly, just the soldier, but you can be yourself.
yeah,
Which thing, right? We all like to be ourselves.
yeah. That's true. Um, so with with training with your training style now, I know one of the things that you told me about um, your progression is that now with the use of elements
Mm,
cycle
mm,
as well as the concepts that you've uh, kind of brought together, that there's a difference in how your the people who are in your flock, I should say, or
mm,
the people who
mm.
train with you. There's a difference in how they are now um, feeling,
Yeah,
and
of course.
so
I mean, the one thing is, I mean, I have a lot of my girls were, which now are over 40 years old, right? They were all handball players, right? I mean,
mhm,
at least five of them. And then the common injuries is like a left knee and the right shoulder, right? Because they jumping from the left and then throwing with the right. And
yeah,
a lot of them couldn't really squat before they came to me, because the knee is so injured that, and two surgeries on the knee, and all that. And what I see that, if the consistency is there, that means that they come in for trainings, and it takes, sometimes it takes years, but there is a healing there. That means they can squat normally now, and the shoulder is in alignment, and all is good. So I think that, there is a value there. There is a absolutely value there, and then the well-being, people, giving me feedback that, the back is not hurting, and I can go cross country skiing with the backpack again. And what is better than that, really?
yeah, yeah,
So that's the answer. That's
yeah,
the answer. I mean, uh, we don't do 100% or 200% intensity work every day. I'm doing it once a week with
right,
my people. So so the injuries are really seldom. It's not really often people hurt themselves.
yeah.
And
That's
if they hurt themselves, and sometimes coming to me, could you fix that, please? Yeah, I'm having pain here and pain there. What have you done? Yeah, well, I was chopping tree at home, right? So I cannot take it on the training. It's just overworking it elsewhere, or people have problems with the back rotator in the shoulders, because the cross country movement is like this.
yeah,
You actually, you're coming for training, and then using this ski coming for training. Well, you ask for it, right? So
right, yeah.
hmm.
I mean, that's one of the things that I really liked about sitting through AFM, and one of the reasons why I'll be coming to Connecticut in a couple weeks to
Hmm.
see you guys,
Hmm.
um, along with my wife, so
So,
she can get some insight as well into it all. Um, as you may or may not know, it's sometimes more challenging to teach the person you're with. um,
uh,
so,
so
so
I switched to kind of train together rather
right,
than the coach person you're with. So
right,
yeah, my girl she's my ex-student, and she's the coach under me as well. So yeah, I know how it is. I know how it is. It's
So,
even it's even worse in the reverse, you know.
right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'd rather her just get, the information from you and Paul,
Yeah.
and and, and be instructed by an outsider. That way she will accept it, and
Mm.
I'll say, yeah, but I was telling you that before. It,
Uh,
it, it, it
no.
doesn't matter. But
Yes.
that's definitely one of the things that I think drew me in initially, like just um, because actually I didn't see Paul so much.
Mm.
I had kind of heard of him, or I'd seen people share a post here and there, and I think we were connected on Facebook. So I would see a post of his here and there. Um, but I because I think I didn't know exactly what his intent was, and what he actually had going on
Mm.
inside of him as he was doing things, it didn't
Mm.
grab and catch my attention, right? And so
But
whereas I
all
would
have
see
a
you,
of expressing, and yeah, you're right. I mean, some people, you know, be drawn to mostly to me, and some to him, because he's doing the inside work. I'm doing outside work. You know,
right,
I'm pretty different. You know, expressing tools as well. I'm more like circular, and he's more like edgy
right,
in patterns as well. So that's how it is. We are different. I mean, we all different. Come on,
yeah, yeah,
right? So, uh, and that it is so true that, you know, some people, you know, they just, you know, interested in AFM because they've seen my stuff, and some people, you know, seen his stuff,
right,
and they
yeah,
actually kind of people, which is kind of cool.
yeah,
It's kind of cool because we actually corresponding with the you know, 70%.
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I think for me it was great because um, I find myself falling in the middle, right? I
Mm. Yeah.
I not on- I was drawn to what I see from you. It's artistic. It's like you said. Um, it's captivating, right? It's something that is, I think most people who see it are like, wow, okay. Um, but now that I've experienced Paul, like I think I fall like right down the middle as far
In the,
as
where you
understanding
eh? Where you're
what.
supposed to be. In the middle. It's like, even it's like a spirit element between all the elements. It's
Yeah,
like in the middle, right? And you have to kind of have the skills with, you know, among every single element, because if not, you're not whole, right? So
right.
it is correct. So don't take it as a mistake. It's good.
Yeah, and I use the spirit kind of programming more so
Mm,
than anything these days, and I kind of um, I have been doing a lot of I think water, and
mm, mm.
spending a lot of time with that element, which has been great because my joints feel amazing,
Yeah,
um,
I
and
see it on the videos as well. I mean, you're getting really really loose in our
that
time.
shoulder,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, because the last time I was there, we were talking a lot about this shoulder,
Yeah.
and um, the actually now I can hang,
Mm, mm.
so I
Yeah,
can
we
hang.
we talked
Remember?
skills before as well, right? So hanging and just, you know, making a space in your shoulder
Yeah,
because it jumped up.
yeah, um,
Mm.
yeah. I couldn't hang back in back in back in November at all,
Yeah.
and so to be able to hang both hands, one hand.
Mm.
Be on the rings now and actually, allow rotation. Uh, it's just amazing to see. And so now, my perspective, I think, um, you know, I felt like I was always kind of going this direction, but my perspective now is really like health above all, you know. It doesn't make sense to it doesn't make sense to just continue to hammer and drive and pretend that we're all fighters. Like you said, you know, we're not all fighters, you know, like fighters get broken.
I'm not 23 anymore, right?
Right.
Right now I have a stick or something heavy.
You do like to fight with swords though, and that was an awesome experience to see.
Yeah, I said, listen, if I'm doing something extreme, because you know I was starting to cross country skiing now, and the guy came to me and said, yeah, maybe you just, you know, you do this Birkebein, which is like 50 kilometers, and I said, yeah, well, yeah, I would rather, you know, if I have to do something as extreme as that, I would rather, you know, dig my axe into the, you know, collarbone of the opponents. So I would rather fight, you know, if I mean it's you know, way more interesting. And now actually doing the fight now, and like it's like 300 against 300 people. I can send you a link. It's pretty awesome. It's called Volin. It's an island in Poland, and people from all over the world coming and just bang, you know, Slavic people is the Vikings. 300 people, you know, from one side to another. So you know, I think it's good. I kind of said yes to that. Is first weekend of August, and I'm just working on my armor and my armored fighting skills as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and
this
this time I wore a helmet. This time I wore a helmet because you know how it ended last time. So,
yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that scars healed up pretty well?
Yeah, it's good. It's good now.
For those of you who don't know, the video is up on YouTube of my journey to Norway last year for AFM, and the video's up, and you can see in the video for Pawel's 40th birthday party, we had a Viking fight, and also a was it Viking versus Samurai, right?
Yeah. It was
a demonstration.
Nation, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. It was great to watch, and it was great to be, you know, I mean, it was an experience, a cultural experience that I didn't anticipate having while being there for AFM, which was a bonus, icing on the cake, which is nice. So with the tools, what tool, I mean, I know you said you started kind of with kettlebells, but what tool would you say, and I kind of think I might know the answer to this already, what tool would you say you would gravitate towards or bias the most in your training?
There is no perfect tool, right? We say that. We know there is no perfect tool, and you know, there is a tool for everything. And I'm far from to say that kettlebell is kind of, you know, answer for everything here. What I do like and what I do see as if I only have to take two of the tools, it will be two clubs or two bulavas actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I will have with me on the, you know, the islands, if you want to say.
Yeah.
I would have my knife and two bulavas. That's it. Yeah.
Why the bulavas in particular?
I think it covers like 70% of what I need right now. 70% of my fitness would be actually easily fixed with the two clubs. If I, you know, I'm training mostly in my own work. I'm training mostly earth and air. Okay. that's my main now, at least in this period of a year. It's what I do most. Actually, I do some water, I do some fire, but mostly I'm building, and I'm actually working with the movement skills. So that's but again, it's together with it with a certain diets, and what I try to achieve with it. But I would two bulavas, that would work. That would work. It is something. It is something. Holding two tools as well. I mean, something we men only understand, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sort of sense, right? Because it's balance, right? It brings balance to the body. We're right-handed or left-handed, but if you've got two, what are you actually?
Yeah.
And if you can use the two equally as well, then we've got some degree of
have a certain cognitive skills as well. You have to know. You go to the right, and you cannot cross them, and it's just the perfect like air tool for me right now.
Nice. So let's talk about a little bit about so delve outside of fitness just a little bit here, but I think it still relates to fitness, and at least your fitness and health, which I found very interesting, is your practice of shamanism. Before I left, you said, "I know what you are. You're raccoon," and I thought it was really really interesting. And like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what this is. And then you gave me the book, and I looked at the description of the raccoon, and I did feel that it really aligned with myself. Now, of course, if I had a choice, I would be Black Panther, just because it's really cool.
It just happens. It just happens.
So explain, if you could explain a little bit, and I still, also you have to explain this piece too that you gave me. I haven't taken it off. It's been with me everywhere. I really appreciate this piece
Looks
tremendously.
Good.
Thank you.
I mean, I was studying shamanism now many years, and we call it shamanism, but it's basically Gnostic and metaphysical teachings. I mean, everything is just names, really, right? So if people believe in angels, and some believe in animal guides, and some believe in something else, and I think in this journey, what I've been through, and I've been through the most of both Wiccan traditions and Druid traditions, and now I started kind of a Norwegian based shamanism as well, and I'm Christian actually, so it doesn't make any difference. I think it's just words, really, what people words and labels what we have on things, and as I see, it's just the energy imprints we have we work with, and the possibility of connecting to the source and actually getting answers for what you want to get answers for. And I see animals really often, and I see animals near people, and I actually can say, okay, raccoon is what you are, or raccoon is what you need, because it's a guide right behind you. And if you've seen raccoons lately, well, it's a good sign. Yeah, and I use runes, I use crystals, and I meditate a lot about the topic subjects, and actually I'm getting answers. It is, and I still think there are some people who it's worth to listening to. I do think that Buddha and Jesus and all the, you know, they were energy masters actually, and they were guys that actually figured things out in a way.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful world out there. And I'm just hoping that more and more people get, get drawn into it and actually start to research it, because, you know, in the end of the day, you're finding your own way. But, you know, people don't ask what if questions anymore.
Right.
What if it's true? What if there is something?
Right. Yeah.
So what if questions is pretty cool question. I'm always, you know, asking myself if I have a thought, and I'm always asking what if.
So what if, like, just in general, or
what if what you do is, you know, it's just wrong, or what if what if we do that this way? Right. It just opens the possibility to go outside the box as well. Yeah. And it's only about fitness. It's about how you live. Right. Yeah. And so, since life is all about routine, you know, maybe we just have a wrong routine and wrong way we look at things. Yeah. But so, what do I know, really? Right.
We'll find out one day. We'll find out one day.
Yeah. Or not.
Or not. So, like, yeah, I think that what if plays. I see a lot of, so on the fitness side of things, I do see a lot of what if in what you do, and what I see, because a lot of the if you want to call them exercises, you know, I think people expect, you know, if they come to do AFM and they come to work with you, that they're going to get some exercises. But
have you been disappointed about it? You haven't got any.
What's that?
You haven't got any.
I haven't got any exercises from it. But I did get a lot of, and now that you said this, I've got a lot of what if, and you know, because the movements you encouraged or asked us to do at times took us out of our box, took us out of our comfort zone, took us into ranges and things that then you had to ask yourself, okay, I can't do this. Why? And then, so you say, what if I do this? And then you go and you try, and then you say, okay, well, I can't. But then you say, why? I should be able to, right? Like, I should be able to do this movement. So that's
you
where
kick out of a box in a way, right?
Yeah. And then, you know, I ended up exploring some of the things a little bit deeper. I think the last thing, when me and my wife came out, and I think it was it an air session? I don't remember what day it was. Was that an air session when we came to visit?
And your shoulder was blown, I remember that.
Yeah. And it wasn't, you know, the first time I came to visit, my shoulder wasn't as bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad. But by the time I came the second time, it was just a month later, my shoulder was just in a wreck, like an absolute wreck. And I remember having a challenge with a lot of the movements that we're doing. And then also there was particularly one with the club, which required the internal rotation of the hip, anti-rotation, and some knee rotation.
Side lunge,
And
then on the side. I remember that. I remember that.
And so I started practicing that with body weight, but it also took me back to, helping me, so that was the what if we do this, right? What if we do this movement? What
Mm,
happens? And so
yeah.
it tells me like I'm not capable for some reason,
Mm,
but all these other people are doing it. It should be able to be done with the body.
yeah. Yeah.
And so, when I got back home, it was like I deconstructed all of it and said, okay,
Mm,
what's happening with my knee? Why is my knee not doing what it's supposed to do? And then practicing at body weight and moving through body weight positions. And you may have seen some of the videos that I posted just exploring the body weight
mm.
version.
You know what scares me to shit? That people actually don't do that.
Mm.
People don't explore the movement. You know, if the body moves some direction, I mean, we born to move this direction as well. I mean, it's our given right to, to move every direction possible if your joints have a capacity to do that,
Mm-hmm.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, come on, we're sitting so much. We
Yeah.
just sitting maybe two, three. Our hips are so frozen. I mean, all the guys coming to me for first couple of classes, they in pain,
Yeah.
they in pain. And I'm not talking about hip sway, but just regular rotation. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
what's happening? And we all, born like this, old small babies that, spaghetti bodies, I call it. I mean, we can do, you
Yeah.
know, every single angle, and it's not unhealthy to do that. So we kind of losing this opportunity to you know to have this movement when we grow up, and let's be kids again, let's play.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So we can take it back, because body just switch off the angles which is not using it, and
I mean, that it makes absolute sense. I mean, I look at children as they grow up, and I think about myself over the years and what we start to do, and we immediately began to train them for this process of being frozen.
yeah.
Sit in your chair. Sit. We make the chair small enough for them to sit in instead of having them all sit on the floor
Mm.
together, or do their work on the floor, or we confine them to a chair. And then as you get older, they make that chair more and more confining, because I know in middle school and high school, you now
Mm.
have the fixed chair that had the armrest all the way around, and it's
You
you,
cannot move this
you
way neither.
yeah, you can't move out
uh,
of the chair one direction. You can only move one direction to get out and get into the chair. So we're slowly conditioning people in this manner, um, and then we ask them. One of my biggest problems, and I posted about this earlier, and many people took offense to it, but um, one of my problems with movement, or with what we're teaching in general, is that we expect the person who has been working all day and who has
mm.
spent their entire life being conditioned in this way to then get in the gym and be some type of warrior, or some type of we're all athletes, or we're like, no, that person is a person who sits at the desk.
Yeah.
They need
And
what something
how many
different.
superheroes you train, really,
Right.
right?
Very few.
In how many police officers and special forces guys you have? Well, so actually, yeah. So the thing is, we have to adjust everything down to the basic movements, what the human body is capable, or should be capable of that. And it is it is scary how how bad it can be, actually,
Yeah.
because you sit in a job like 8 to 10 hours, and you sit in a car, and you coming home, you sit and eat, right? and then you know, go to the gym and you sit and do your curls, and you know, you go home. So let's talk about hip flexor and psoas,
Right.
right? And then you cannot, you know, lift things up anymore because your back hurts. And I think that if you know, if you actually look at what we do with people in both in Tango Fitness or all over the world, people doing AFM, we actually going back to what we should be doing, that using our lats and, you know, using our hamstrings when we you know, when we work, because the posterior chain is absent, the posterior chain training actually, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it makes absolute sense to me, and to bias the need, um,
mm,
and I mean, because everyone wants this stuff in front, but the needs are actually in the back.
the back, yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely, your question is absolutely important for any coach or trainer out there watching. The question is how many superheroes are you actually coaching or training?
Yeah.
If that's your market of people, if you are working with these high level athletes, then the prescription that you're making for them fits,
Mm,
but maybe it fits, maybe it doesn't actually, but to then take that program or that style and that
mm,
programming
mm.
and push it out to the masses of people who are not like that, I think is detrimental.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
It's just they not gonna, you know, you you cannot even scale it down. So everything we do, we actually having so many, you know, adjusting possibilities to actually give them the same stimuli, but the lower, you know, complexity or intensity or
Hmm.
weight, or now it's many ways to actually play with it.
Hmm.
But yeah, absolutely. This and even though I, you know, they all my superheroes, they all, you know, beautiful people, you know, all the 80 clients I have, but we started 5 years ago, and we started from a scratch.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Rick Brown was doing a seminar with me here once, and he said, damn, Pawel, he never seen so many, you know, top, I mean, so many, such a well moving people in one place.
Yeah.
Which you know, it's easy to make a star, but it's difficult to make 70 stars,
Yeah.
right? So actually, you're working from the bottom up. You're working from, you know, you're lifting up the weakest so they can match the guys in the middle range, and then, you know, so you're actually working with the whole group, not just with the one or two people.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
I'm
definitely.
light clubs as well, so I see that now.
What's that?
With my you know, my tool range, my maces,
Uh,
kind of buy, you know, a few more maces, few more clubs, few more kettlebells.
yeah.
It's just too few because you know, the classes are so big now that I have to, you know, invest some more money in equipment as well.
Yeah. Well, that's a good
So
problem to have.
it,
Yeah.
it's a yeah, it's a good sign to admit.
Um, I mean, that's one of the things that well, a few things that I got from being
Mm,
in your home, House of
mm,
Tango.
mm.
Um, One was that everyone was incredibly well, incredibly capable and well prepared for the
Yeah.
activities. And me being a fairly well trained individual, because this was outside of my box,
Mm.
uh, I felt like, wow, I'm the coach, and all of these people are so much more able than I am. you know, so it made me start to think about, you know, myself and how I need to better prepare myself and how I need to push outside of those boxes in different ways than I'm used to. But the other
Yeah.
thing that I think was most rewarding to see and most uh, you know, just so awesome to see was the way the love in the space, the love and the energy and the positivity and the appreciation for you that everyone had in that space. Because for everyone watching, I think when you see when you see Pavel on social media and you see him swinging a 45-pound club with one hand, there's a lot of people who are like, I've shown that to people and they're like, God, that guy's shoulder must be amazing. And I was like, well, you know, he's incredibly capable, and they see how you look and they judge and they kind of think, well, maybe he's a little bit frightening. He's strong. He's got swords, you know. But if you
Ah,
if you meet you meet
really?
Pavel and you the first thing you're going to get is a big embrace and a big hug, and you're going to feel the warmth and the love for people that he has, and that to me was seen in at your birthday party, with the way people express themselves to about you and about the space and whatnot. So those two things I think were two big takeaways for me, um, as far as having gone to visit with you.
Yeah. I mean, this working with the movement and with training and with the health. I mean, do you really think that is the most important thing,
Mm.
or the feeling of love people get?
Right.
Right. I mean, what can we measure it? Can we say, well, I'm the coach, I'm a trainer. Maybe I just, link people up and make them feel well. You can heal on many levels, not exactly, fixing your shoulder.
Mm.
Some people just coming for a class to get a hug, and that's what they came for. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right. That's a quick fix.
Yeah.
So I think the building the social, social sphere of everything we do, and then infuse it with a lot of good emotions and love is as important as a fixing shoulders and knees, because that's fairly simple,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
But atmosphere, the build this safe environment, and not only physically safe, but emotionally safe,
Mm.
so people can actually get drawn and be included in everything we do.
Yeah.
And you see, helping each other without me actually helping my student. They're helping each other.
Yeah.
If the one person cannot, lift, then you will get help, and that makes me safe as well, right? That's what that's what I see the value of what I do. Measuring exactly what you said, and
Mm.
not the bicep circumference. I mean, it's to put things but you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Mm.
Um, and that's interesting. You say like emotionally safe space because you have, I think there's an atmosphere right now, maybe around the world, but I can only speak for what I see in America, and that's I think an atmosphere where sometimes the spaces do not feel emotionally safe for people, both male and female. But I think in general, females are more in touch with their emotional
Yeah,
feelings.
yeah.
So they tend to, if you look at activities that are out there and you see like, oh, there's a lot of men in that activity, versus like, oh, there's a balanced amount of females and males, or there's more females than males. It
Yeah,
kind of, to me, sends off an indicator as to what type of space
space is it.
that is, um, And, you know, I definitely saw a balance, if not more, women
It's
in your space.
it's more women in our space. Um, why? I know. You know, the guys just they have they don't like to feel weak, I guess. I think it's an ego thing because what we're doing is kind of anti-ego training, you know, and
Yeah.
you're never sure what you get, that's for sure, and you can be sure that maybe one thing you do right and the rest you have to really working on because everything is changing and evolving. So yeah, so work with the 5 kilo club for a guy is kind of anti-ego, but in on the air classes you can be sure that you're going down to 5.
Yeah.
You're not going to lift 120 kilo,
Right.
even or close, and it's still going to be a really great workout for you.
And I like that concept of anti-ego training, because as I said, you know, a lot of people carry not only ego into their training, but that the training is actually that training is actually training your cognitive and mind function, but it's how you train is how you actually approach life in some ways, you know, outside of training. So if you're just feeding this ego and feeding this hyper aggressive sort of mentality, then you're
Hey,
actually
all been
growing
there,
that.
but we all been there. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been there, I've been there, right?
Yeah.
We did it. How did it work?
Yeah. It's the reason my shoulder is the reason my shoulder is giving is was wrecked, you know.
The question is, how did it work? And then I've injured myself many times as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, why people cannot just learn of our mistakes and you know and understand what we do and you know it's a lot of fear out there, the fear of unknown, and I think the reason why you know everything we do haven't exploded you know on the world basis yet is like people just you know don't know maces and actually they scared maces. They don't know clubs. They think that you know it's actually baseball bat and using that for crush skulls and all that. So the you know it just missing the information, and you know being a big guy and swinging mace, it's not exactly you know the women friendly neither,
Yeah.
to be right. So I think the knowledge is missing, and you know to actually look at the what we do in the health perspective, rather than you know showing you know I can handle you know 20k mace. Yeah, I can, but can my students do that? Not really,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
it's the more often you'll see me myself doing you know the more complex movement with the lightweight, then the you know as you said can what if I can do the mill with the 45 pounder? Yeah, I can. Yeah, that is my what if day was this day. So you've been talking
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
What if? Okay. But none of my students can do that.
Right.
None. And I don't want them to do that. Right.
I mean, it takes a lot of preparation to get to that level or that point of being able to say, "What if I can swing a 45
Yeah.
pound?"
Yeah. I had to pray it to you know to my guides as well. Could you just please keep my shoulders packed?
Right.
But you know what? I mean, we train this way to you know to push the you know I don't give a fuck button and just try things as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Once
I
in a
mean,
while. Yeah.
once in a while it's all right. I mean, I'm not posting it every day, and I will not.
Right.
But once in a while, I like to you know blow things off and do that, and I don't see it as a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
But what you've been talking something about the women, and the emotional environment we deliver. I had a self-defense class lately, different place actually. So I delivered the self-defense course, and one girl there, after the scenario, it was kind of semi-realistic kind of scenario. She started crying, and I came to her and I said, what's up? Why do you crying? Are you hurt? And she was, no. I was totally sucking at this, and what if it happens for real? So that's why she was crying, right? So it was this emotional thing about thinking about what can happen and how to react. So you have this the freezing kind of person that if you push her, she'll freeze and she will actually be a victim. So, and this it never happened in my place actually. You always get enough safety to actually be finished with a task, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that what people want is, and I've talked with some of my colleagues here about that very same thing, is that your client, the person you're working with, they're already coming in feeling a certain way with their own set of baggage and emotional issues and uncertainty, and as a coach, it's kind of our job to make them feel at ease and make them feel capable of things. Give them, a level that they can work at, and give them something they can work towards.
I used to say, give them one thing to master per class. Per class, they master one thing per class. So they feel that they have actually mastered one thing, okay? And the one thing, it can be the movement there, okay? If I master one thing, so what's going to happen? You train with me 2 to 3 times a week, okay? We master one thing at a time.
Right.
And you can actually, you can, and you work on the basic skills in the other exercises, but this one you actually nail 100%. And then you're coming next day, and then you're gonna have something else to work on, right? But the mastering process and actually having this feeling that I have mastered one thing, it is priceless. It is priceless, because then you're coming out from a class and okay, shit, yeah, I did it.
Success, right? It's success.
I mean, that's how you actually, get clients to come to you, because you like to master things, and if you master the arm cast, you master paying the bills tomorrow. I mean,
right.
It's way harder to pay bills. But
right.
Yeah, what I'm talking about.
Right.
And that the stress is a stress, right? If it's a physical stress, or is a mental stress, it's a economic stress as well.
Yeah.
People react the same. We react the same. Humans react the same on every type of stress.
Right. Well, we've come up on an hour quite fast, but it's been very. I mean, we really should do conversations more often. I really should. We don't get to talk besides a couple of messages on Messenger here and there.
We busy guys. We busy.
Yeah. But we should.
Be on it. I mean, just let me know, and I'm there if you need me.
Nice. Appreciate
I see you, really. So.
What's that?
I see you soon anyway.
Yeah, couple of weeks. Yeah. That'd be great. So just before we go, I just go ahead and can you just let everyone know about any things they should be watching for as far as AFM is concerned? Do you have any upcoming events outside of Connecticut?
what we're gonna do, we're gonna do 2 days certification in Connecticut now in 2 weeks, and there is still some openings for PT sessions, both with Paul Gray and myself. I think it's a day after certification or day before certification, and we're gonna be absolutely working towards doing one more certification with in your place, or in on the West Coast as well. But that's the thing we're going to be talking with you about, really, and we really excited about it.
Nice.
Excited our two poor asses to US and see how it goes. As far as promoting and watching our videos, you guys really welcome to follow Paul Gray both on Facebook and Instagram. Paul Firepower Gray, and I have a couple of channels myself, which is Instagram House of Tengu, and Facebook Pawel Witudo, or also House of Tengu on the Facebook, and on YouTube Pawel Witudo. So there is a tons of material there. Is just to dig in, really.
Awesome. And I'll make sure everyone has those links available to them, so they can just pop right over there, right in the info as soon as this is posted to YouTube. All the links will be just below.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time and
pleasure
for the conversation. And look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
That's gonna be awesome.
All right. Have a good evening.
Have a morning.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye.